us how can we structure the content. So to structure the content on web page, HTML is providing us some set of elements, something called set of elements. And all these elements are predefined. It means already they have created these elements. We have to just use those elements. So every element is going to structure the content in some way. Okay. Every element is divided into 2 tags. So every element will have some set of tags. Every element will have some set of tags. Some element might have only 1 tag. Some element have more than 1 tag. Like if you take a heading element, you have 6 tags. But when it comes to paragraph element, there is only 1 tag. So every element has some set of tag. Now every tag is divided into 2 types. Every tag has opening tag and closing tag. Opening tag and closing tag. This is what we have seen in the last session. And we have just explored 2 elements, that is heading element and paragraph element. Apart from this, we have seen how to install VS Code, how to create the folder in the VS Code, how to create the file in the VS Code. So basically we have seen how to open the folder in VS Code. Then I have shown you how to create the file in VS Code. How to create file in VS Code. After that, we have created some HTML files. We just created some HTML files. And we wrote some code. We wrote some code in that using heading and paragraph element. Then I have shown you how to load HTML file inside the browser. How to load HTML file in the browser using live server extension. This is what we have covered in the last session. Okay. In today's session, we will introduce with the CSS. Let's introduce little bit CSS. So did you guys remember what is CSS? Yesterday I have explained.
Styling language.
Yeah. So basically CSS is a styling language. Using CSS, what we can do? Using this language, what we can do?
Styling the content on the web page.
So we can style the content on web page. Using HTML, we can structure the content on web page. But using CSS, we can style the content on web page. Now to structure the content on web page, HTML is providing us elements. Now, can you guys guess to style the content, what CSS is providing to us? Here, if you see, to structure the content, HTML is providing us elements, something predefined elements. In the same way, CSS is all about styling the content. So to style the content, what CSS is providing to us? Any guess? Yeah, tell me.
Element.
No, element is provided by your HTML, right? But what CSS is providing? CSS is providing something called properties. Or I can say property. Okay, for example, you wrote some content like this. Welcome to HTML and CSS. Now I want this content should look in the red color. I want this content should be in the red color. Now to make this content in the red color, CSS is providing us one property called color. One property called color. And the value of this property is red. We have to add some value here. Now, if you say color red, then your content will be in the red color. So the point here, what we need to understand is CSS is providing us something called property. Okay, it is providing set of lot of properties. Now we have to just learn those properties. This property will give this style. This property will give this style. This property will give this style. This property will give this kind of style. This is what you have to learn in the CSS. Okay. Is it clear up to here? What is CSS? What we can do with CSS and what CSS is providing to us? Okay. Now let's explore what is this property. Property in CSS. Okay. Every property in CSS will be in the key value pair. Every property in CSS will be in key value pair. Key value pair. So if CSS is providing us 100 properties, then all those 100 properties will have some kind of key. They will have some kind of value. Okay. If here the key in property are unique and they are fixed. They are fixed. Whatever key you will find in the property, all those are unique and they are fixed. Fixed means whatever key CSS is giving, we have to use that key only. We cannot change the name. Exactly what they are saying. Okay, this is the property. For this property, this is the key, means we have to use that key only. So key in properties are unique. First of all the keys will be unique in the CSS and they are fixed. They are fixed. Fixed, or I can say they are predefined. Already they are defined by CSS. Okay. Every property, or I can say properties, might have one value or it may contain multiple values. Now, one CSS property can have only one value or they can have multiple values also. For one property, you can have multiple values also. You can have multiple options also. For some properties, there will be only one value. For some properties, you might have more values, more than one. Okay, so every property in CSS will be in the key value pair. Key in properties are unique and they are fixed or predefined. Properties might have one value or it may contains multiple values. And values can be, here I will add, and values can be predefined or custom. So some values will be predefined, means for some properties, values are also predefined. For this properties, you have to use this value only. And for some properties, values are custom, like you can give any value, whatever you want, you can give. So you don't have any restriction. You will have some range, you have to give within that range. Okay. In property, key and value are differentiated using colon. So how to differentiate key and value? Using colon. Okay, so let's try to understand the syntax of property. Syntax of a property. Syntax of property. So property syntax will be like this. It will have some key, then colon, then you will have a value. And after that, you have to add semicolon. Semicolon indicates end of that property. Semicolon indicates end of that property. After each property, we have to add semicolon. Okay, key and value are differentiated with the colon. They are differentiated with the colon. Example, there is one property called color. The key is color and value can be anything, any color name like red, green, blue, white, black, like that. Now for this color property, we have multiple values. You can add red or you can have green or you can have blue, like that. We have multiple values. So I'm just adding here red. Now in this example, color is a key and red is a value. Red is a value. Red is a value. Okay. In HTML file, if you want to write CSS, then you have to use one special tag called style. And inside that style tag only, we can write our CSS code. In HTML document or in HTML file. Okay, in HTML file, we have to use style tag to write CSS code. So there are multiple ways to write CSS code. One way is using style tag. So we will explore everything step by step. So in HTML file, we have to use style tag to write CSS code. It means, for example, if you have, this is your HTML document or HTML file. Now inside this HTML file, you have to take one style tag. Opening tag, closing tag. And inside style tag, you can write your CSS code. CSS code. Okay. So before we write CSS code, we have to select the HTML element on which element we want to apply. So one point we have to remember here, before we write CSS code, we have to select HTML element to which we want to add style. And we can select HTML element in multiple ways, using multiple ways. Before you write CSS code, now you have to first of all select which element you want to style. Okay. Now to select your HTML element, we have multiple ways. They are using tag name. This is one approach. Using ID name, something called ID name. I will let you know what is that ID name. And using class name. And etc. There are multiple ways. So once we start learning the CSS in depth, we will explore all these approaches. As of now, here I am just introducing you the CSS. What is CSS? Okay. So what we have understood about CSS till now, let's revise it. What is CSS? CSS is a styling language. Using this CSS, what we can do? We can style the content. Now to style the content, what CSS is providing us? CSS is providing us lot of properties, lot of 100+ properties we have. It is providing us lot of properties. Now we are trying to explore what is this property. Okay, every property in CSS will be in the key value pair. As I'm telling you, there are hundreds of properties. Now every property in the CSS are in the key value pair. Now, key in the property, whatever key in the property is there, it is predefined, it is fixed. We have to use that key only. And all the keys of all the CSS properties are unique. They are not duplicate. Values can be duplicate. For two properties, there can be same values, but keys are always unique. Properties might have one value or it may contain multiple values, and values can be predefined or custom. For some properties, there will be only one value. For some properties, there are set of values. Okay, there can be multiple values. And some values are predefined and some values are custom. Custom means you can give your own values there. And some values are predefined. Predefined means for this property, you have to use this value only. You cannot use the values that you want. And in property, key and values are differentiated using column. So if you are writing one property, how you will differentiate what is key, what is value means using colon, you can differentiate it. And your property will look something like this. Every property will have key and value. This entire together we are going to call as a property. We are going to call as a property. Now, if you want to write your CSS code in HTML document, then we have to add one style tag. Inside that style tag only we can write CSS code. But before we write CSS code, first of all, we have to select the HTML element to which we want to add CSS. So how can we select the HTML element means for that we have multiple approaches. We have multiple approaches. Okay. Now let's see how we can write the CSS code practically. In yesterday's session, we have learned heading element and paragraph element, right? So let's utilize that both the elements. Let's utilize both the elements. So I already opened the VS code here. This is my VS code. Okay, inside this VS code, I have already opened one folder, empty folder. I don't have any files here. Now I want to create one HTML file here. So click on this first icon, give some name. I'm just giving here something like a CSS demo .html. I just created one HTML file. Now here I can start writing the HTML code. Okay. So I want to show one heading, something like HTML. I want to show some heading like HTML. So I'm taking here H2 tag. And here I am adding something like HTML language. Now I want to add some paragraph related to this HTML element or HTML language. So I'm taking one paragraph and randomly I am generating some content, some random content I am generating here. Now how to generate like this random content? Okay, this is random content. For that, what you need to do, you have to go to this extension. On the left side, you have some icons. Go to this extension. Here, search for lorem ipsum, something called lorem ipsum. Just search for lorem ipsum. Now you will get lot of option here. There is something called Daniel Imus. Here you will have an install button. Click on that install button. That's it. This extension will be installed in your VS code. Then go to your Explorer. Now, if you want to generate any random content like this, first take any tag, like I'm taking paragraph tag, write lorem. After this, how many words you want to generate, that number you have to give. For example, I want to generate only 5 words. I will write 5 and click on enter. 5 words will be generated, some 5 random words, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Suppose you want 10 words. What you will do? You will simply write lorem and add here 10 and click on enter. Some 10 random words are generated. So like this, you can generate any number of words. Now I want to generate nearly something like 200 words. So I will say lorem 200. Click on enter. 200 words are generated. Okay. Now I have two paragraphs here. Paragraph 1, paragraph 2. In the same way, I want to take one more H2. And here I want to say CSS language. Again, two paragraphs I want to add here. Something like lorem 40. One more I will take. Paragraph lorem 80. I will take one more. Lorem something like 150. Okay, I just added one H2 tag, like two H2 tags and some paragraph tags. This is my HTML document. Now this document I want to load in my browser. Okay, one way is here you will find something like live server. Here you will find something like go live option. Here you will find some go live option. You can click on this, or else you can just right click anywhere on this page. If you right click anywhere on this page, you will get the option live server. Open with live server. Click on that open with live server. Now see our web page, nothing but basically our HTML document loaded in the browser. Browser created one web page, and on that web page, our content is displayed. We created one basic web page here. Okay. Now, if you come back here, now what I want to do, if you see here, this heading, HTML and CSS, they are displayed in the black color. Now I want to change this style. I want to show in some different color. I want to show in the green color. Let's consider I want to show this HTML language in green color, this CSS language in green color. It means what we need to do, we have to write CSS code. Now, how can we write CSS code in our HTML file? On the top, here simply add style tag. Style tag indicates we are writing CSS code inside our HTML document. Okay. Now, here we have to write CSS code. Now, before we write CSS code, first you decide to which element you want to give styles. I want to give these styles to this H2, and this H2. So what I will do, I will select this H2 using tag name. How to select? Just you write your tag name, that is H2, space, open curly brace, close curly brace. This is how we select our HTML element using tag name. This is called tag selector. Now, inside this curly braces, you write your CSS code. I want to change the color. Now, to change the color of your content, CSS is providing us one property called color. Key is color, colon. Now, you have to give the value. Whatever value you want, you can give. I am saying green. Then semicolon, semicolon. Now, save your file. Once you write something in your file, once you do some changes in your existing file, you have to save your file. Go back to your browser. And if you are not able to find the output, just refresh it. If you refresh it, now see, you got green color. Now for this paragraph, I want to give red color. Okay, I want to show all the paragraph in the red color, for example. So what I will do, simply after this, inside this style tag only, I will select paragraph. Open curly brace, close curly brace. Color, colon, red. Save it. Now if you go back here, refresh it, you got red color. So what you are doing now, you are able to apply the CSS. You just know one property as of now, that is color property. Using color property, what we can do? We can change the content. We can change, we can change the style of our document. Or we can change the style of our HTML content. Understood what is CSS, what is the purpose of CSS, what CSS is providing to us, and how to add CSS styles in the HTML document. Is it clear up to here?
Yes,
Yes, sir.
clear.
Okay, so we will
Sir,
be learning everything step by step. Okay, guys, I cannot teach entire CSS in one day or HTML. So slowly, we will be learning. I will do a lot of changes. Yeah.
if you want two colors, two different colors for two different headings,
Yes,
what we will
that
do?
will come. That will come. Okay. Now let's come back to the HTML now. Let's come back to the HTML. Now, if you remember, these are the paragraph and these are the H2 elements we have learned. Now let's explore some more elements. One is list element. Suppose if you get a requirement where you want to show some content in the list format. Suppose you want to show some content on your web page in the list format. Maybe something like you want to show the technology names. Like one, you want to show something like HTML. Then two, you want to show like CSS. Three, you want to show like maybe something like JavaScript. Four, you want to show like React. So like this, if you get a requirement where you want to show some content in the list format. Now to show the content in the list format, HTML is providing us one list element. HTML is providing us one list element. And this list element, internally list element is divided into three types. Okay, three types, not two types. List element are divided into three types. So what are those three types means? The first one is ordered list. Second one is unordered list. And third one is description list. Description list. So your list element further divided into three types: ordered list, unordered list, description list. Description list we will see in our main course. Once we start with our main course, we will see there. Now here, let's try to understand about the ordered list and unordered list. Now this unordered list element, is providing us one tag, and that tag is OL. The tag name is OL. In the same way, unordered list is providing us one tag, that is UL. So if you want to create ordered list means here you will get the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4 like this. Unordered list means instead of numbers, you will get bullet points. So if you remember bullet points, right? In that way we will get. So let's see this example once. Now here I want to create ordered list.html. I want to create one ordered list. So what you have to do, simply you have to take OL. That's it. Now inside this, we have to create our list. To create our list, they are providing us one more tag, and that tag is LI. LI means list item. This stands for list item. OL stands for ordered list. UL stands for unordered list. Now inside ordered list, if you want to configure like these options, then we have to take the help of LI tag. It means inside OL, we have to write LI. And inside that, you configure your options. For example, HTML. I want one more list. Again, you have to take LI only. Here, something like CSS. I'm taking one more li. Here something like JavaScript. One more li. Here something like React. Now save it. Now, if I open this document in my browser, it looks like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. HTML, CSS, JavaScript, React. Okay. Now, in the same way, now let me just make it list. Okay, I have just changed the file name to the list. In the same way, I want to create unordered list. Simply what I will do, I will take UL, and in that same list items I will configure. Here it is a OL, here it is a UL. That is the only difference. If you come back here, refresh it, you got unordered list. Now in ordered list, you will get the numbers 1, 2, 3, 4. In unordered list, you will get like this bullet points. This is the difference. Now here, before OL, I can add one H2 and I will say here ordered list. And here also I will add one H2 and I will say this is an unordered list. Okay, apart from this 1, 2, 3, 4, we can show here something like ABCD also. We can show ABCD also. We can show Roman numbers also. Here, instead of showing like this bullet points, we can show some circles also. We can show some squares also. If you want, you can remove this symbols also. So there are many ways, there are many things we need to learn related to this list. Okay, that again we will learn in the main course. Once I start with the main course, once I start with the list topic, I will explore, I will explain so many things which are related to list. Now this is our demo session, so here I don't want to go in that depth here because people will be joining, people will be leaving. So let's learn some basics of HTML. Now we just explored some basics of list element. Okay, now we know 3 elements: heading element, paragraph element, list element. In list element also, we know 2 elements, that is ordered list element and unordered list element. In the same way, we have one more element in HTML, that is image element. Now, using this image element, we can display some image on our web page. Using image element, we can display images on the web page. Suppose I want to display one image on my web page. I want to display one image on my web page. Then I have to take the help of image element. Now this image element is going to provide us only one tag, that is img. The tag name is img. And this img tag doesn't have any opening tag or closing tag. img tags will be something like this. img tag doesn't have any opening tag or closing tag. It has only one tag, and which looks something like this. Start angular bracket, then your tag name, then space sum, then slash, then close your angular bracket. Any tag which is in this format, they are called self-closing tag. They are called self-closing tag. Self-closing tag. So if you want to display any image, you have to use this image tag. For example, here I want to create one more file, something called image.html. Now here I want to display one image. So what I will do, I will simply take image tag. That's it. Now here we need to specify which image you want to display. So that image address we need to tell. So now whenever you use image like this, one container will be created. Simply one container will be created like this, empty container. Now inside this container, we have to add our image, whichever image you want to show, that image address you have to add here, so that that image will be shown here. Now how to add image address? So for this, we have to configure something called attributes. We have to configure something called attributes. Now let's try to understand what is attributes in HTML. What are attributes in HTML? Attributes in HTML are the properties of your HTML tag. Attributes in HTML are the properties of HTML tag or HTML element. Attributes in HTML are the properties of HTML elements. Attributes will be in the key value pair. Key value pair. All the attributes in HTML will be in the key value pair. Attributes give additional information of HTML element to the browser. What is the use of attributes? Means using attributes, we can configure additional information about our HTML to the browser. Attributes should be always configured. In the opening tag only. Always configured in the opening tag only. So where we have to configure attributes? In the opening tag. Example, for example, here I am taking image tag. This is my image tag. Now for this image tag, I want to add some attributes. So where we can add? Here we can add. After the tag name, just give one space and add your attributes. Every attribute will be in the key value pair. Suppose I want to say, I want to give the extra information. What is that extra information? I want to tell to the browser what should be the width of my image. So for that, there is one attribute called width. Now this is the key. And the value how you have to give means here we have to add equal to, and we have to add our value here. We have to add the value in double quotes. How much width you want? I want something like I am saying here 300 pixel. Now what is px? Px is a pixel. Pixel is a unit which your browser understands. Like if you go to the market, if you want to buy any fruits, you will tell in the terms of kgs, right? I want half kg, 1 kg, 2 kgs. In the same way, browser will understand the values in the terms of pixel. Okay, so I am saying that the width of my image should be 300 pixel. In the same way, you can configure height also. So here, no need to add px because by default it will take pixel. Height. Now here I am saying that height should be something like 200 pixel. 200 pixel. So now in this case, this width and height, this both are attributes. How many attributes we can add means any number of attributes you can add. Every attribute should be differentiated with one space. It should be differentiated with one space. Now here, I want to add one more attribute, that is src. Src means here we have to give the address of our image, which image you want to display. That image address you have to configure here. Image address. Then only image will be displayed. If you just write image, one container will be created. In that image, or in that container, if you want to display any image, you have to give the address of that image. How to give the address of that image means using src attribute, using src attribute. So here, two more points we have to understand. Every attribute, or I can say key and value in attribute are differentiated by equal to. So here, key and value are differentiated with equal to. Key and value are differentiated with equal to. Key and value are differentiated with attribute. Using space, we can differentiate two attributes. So how to differentiate two attributes? Using a space. Using this space. Okay, so let's see here how we can do practically. This is my image tag. I want to add here one attribute. So after the tag, just add one space, write src equals to, in double quotes. Inside this double quotes, we have to add the address of image. Now, how to get the address of image? Go to your internet, go to your Google, search for any image. I'm searching for car images. Okay, let's consider I want to display this image, or this image I want to display. So what you need to do on this image, just right click. Now here you will find one option called copy image address. Just copy that, just click on that. Copy that, the address of this image got copied. Now come back here and paste inside this src. Now if I save it and open this document in my browser, it will look something like this. Now see, this much big image it is showing. Now I want to decrease the width and height of this image. So for that, what we will do? Simply here we will add width attribute. Width equals to, in double quotes, you have to mention some value. I am saying 300. If I save it, go back here, it should be 300. Let's see, 300. Width is 300. I want to increase the height. So I will say here height, something like 400. Now if you go back here and refresh it, height is 400. Now I can increase the width also. I can make width as a something like 500. It's a 500. What you did, you just displayed one image. Like this, you can display any number of image. I want one more image. I will copy this. I will paste here. I just need to change the address. So again, I will go back to my Google. I will search for some image. I want this image. So I will right click, copy image address, then replace this image address. Remove this old one, add your image address. Go back, refresh it. You got two images. Okay, so using this attributes, what we are doing, we are giving the additional information to the browser. We are saying that browser, you display this image, but the image width should be 500, height should be 400. So now here, width, height, and src, all these are attributes. All these are attributes. Now this image, we have two images. Now I want to identify, I want to give some unique name to these images. I want to give some unique name to these images. So in that case, what we can do, we can add one more attribute here, that is ID. And the value of ID should be unique. I'm saying this as a image 1. In the same way, I can configure ID attribute to this image also. The value should be unique. Here I give an img1, here I will give img2. You should not keep same values for both the for different elements of ID attribute. So ID attribute should not contain same values. They should always contain unique values. These IDs are like roll numbers. If you remember in your college days or your school days, you used to have roll number, or even if you start working, you will have employee ID, and IDs or your roll numbers or your ID numbers are always unique in your entire class. Same thing here also. If you have same tags, here also IMG tag, here also IMG tag. If you want to give them unique names, then you have to configure ID. Now, if you go back to that CSS demo, here we have H2. Here also we have H2. Now, if you see, for this H2, we are giving the red color as a green. For this H2 also, I am giving the color as a green. Now, my requirement is for this H2, I want different color. For this H2, I want different color. In that case, what we will do, we will configure ID here. Here I will say ID equals to some value, whatever you want. I'm just giving HTML. Here also I'm giving ID equals to CSS. Now, if you want to style this H2 element and this H2 element, then we have to select this H2 elements using the ID value. Instead of selecting the elements using tag name, we have to select using ID values. How to select using ID values means it's very easy. If you want to select anything using ID values, start with hash. Then your ID value, here HTML, so write HTML. And then give here, I'm just giving color equals to something like, I will give something like blue. And for this CSS, I will select here hash CSS color, something like coral. Some color I am giving. So if you are selecting any element using ID value, then you have to start with hash. That is the rule. Then ID value, hash ID value. Now, if I just open this in my browser, now see, here you have different color. Okay, let me give here some other color. Maybe instead of coral, can I go with something like dark magenta? Something, it looks like this. Two different color. Now, can you guys tell me how can I give two different color for this paragraph and this paragraph? How can I change the text content for this paragraph and this paragraph?
In paragraph
Using ID.
Yes, for paragraphs also now we have to assign ID. This is the first paragraph. So for first paragraph, I will give the ID as a P1. Whatever value you want, you can give. For this paragraph also, I will give the ID P2. Now select this paragraph. Here hash P1. I want to give color to be something like brown. Hash P2. I want to give color as a yellow. Something like yellow green I will give. Save it. If you go back here, refresh it. Now see, you got like this. Now, if you want to give some different color for all this paragraph, now you know what you need to do. So now here we are selecting our element using ID approach. Using ID approach. We are selecting here element using tag approach. Tag approach, ID approach. That is the reason, if you remember, while explaining the CSS, I have told you. You can select your element using tag name, using ID name, nothing but using ID value. So whenever you have a requirement to give unique colors for your multiple paragraph or multiple H2 elements, then use ID value. If you want to use same color for all the paragraphs, all the H2, then use tag name. So like this, depending upon requirement, you have to choose exactly which element you need to use. Okay, here we have seen how to add CSS, basic CSS, ordered list, how to add images, and how to configure attributes. How to configure attributes. This is what we have seen in today's session. Okay, in next session, that is which is on Monday, we will explore anchor tag, something called anchor tag. Plus, we will explore some CSS properties. Now, we know only one CSS property, that is color. Apart from color, we will explore multiple properties, nearly 5 to 6 properties we will explore. Once we are good with this, then we will try to develop something now. Now, we might first develop this resume app. I will develop this resume app. Basic resume, very basic resume. Okay, this we will develop only using HTML. We will not use any CSS, just HTML. Now, by seeing this, you guys will come to know what you need to do. You know, if you want to show this content, what tag you have to use. You know what tag you have to use for this content. You might, you don't know this part. This part I will tell you in next session. This part you know. This part you know. This part you know. And if you come back here, you know how to display unordered list. You know how to display ordered list. Now, by seeing this output only, you will be able to guess, yes, I can do this. I know which elements I need to use. If you are able to do that, means, yes, you are on the correct path of learning. Now, once we develop this, then I will show you this one. You will develop this part. Let me just check name. You have to copy this. Okay, here it is not showing properly. Let me open in another browser. Okay, this is we want to develop. This card we will develop. In the same way, we have so many things here. Okay, we have something like a portfolio website. We will try to develop this kind of website. Okay, this is my browser issue. So that is the reason it is not displaying properly in that browser. This is how we will develop. So like this, yesterday, if you remember, I have shown you, right, that everything we will start developing the things. We will learn something, we will develop something, learn something, develop something, learn something, develop something. Now, within 6-7 days, you will be able to develop this kind of web pages. Now, if you are able to develop this kind of web pages within 7 days, then you can imagine once you learn for 3 to 4 months, then what kind of websites you can develop. But for that, you have to be regular. You have to practice the things. Then only you will be able to develop. Okay, the intention.
Sorry.
Yeah, the intention of this sessions is just to make you understand how I am teaching. Till now, you have seen theoretical explanation. Now, once I start explaining this examples, then you will understand how do I explain the practical examples, how do I explain the code. Then you will have the best option to select whether you have to proceed or you don't want to proceed, because you will have both the approaches. Yeah.
Hey Kabir, this
Yeah.
is Jasveer. Yeah, I just joined today's session, so I just need to know how long is that course?
So basically the course will be around 3 to 4 months, and
Uh-huh.
I have shared the syllabus. So let me share one more time. So
Thanks.
in this course, we are going to cover HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Bootstrap, React, Node,
Mhm.
Express, MongoDB, and Git.
Actually, Kabir, I'm like a automation tester, but
Okay.
I switched the like a career to like a UI development. So in government job, so they said they will teach like everything. They will give me like a 3 months to
Mhm.
learn everything. So I thought I will take a course by myself too. So then that way, I mean, I'm good to go to develop, at least complete my assignments, whatever I have to do.
Okay. Okay. Yeah.
So,
Mhm.
okay.
Yeah. Tell me.
S- Yes. So how much is the course, the
Uh,
fee?
a fee that you have to connect with management, they will let you know. Okay.
Sure,
So
sure,
for
sure.
course content, I have given the link on the chat. You can
Yes,
just get the course content. Okay. You can just go through
yes.
exactly what are the topics,
Uh-huh.
subtopics I'm going to cover.
Okay, thanks. I get it. Thank you so much. So that class is one hour, right? Every
Yeah.
night. Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
Basically, classes will be from 7:30 a.m. to
Uh-huh.
8:30 a.m. But
Okay.
sometimes I might extend it to 9 a.m. Okay. So you can
Okay.
consider our timings are 7:30 a.m. to 9 a.m.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Okay. Initially, I will just go for 1 hour. Then slowly,
Mhm.
gradually, I will increase the time. And
Mhm.
somewhere I will stop at 9 a.m.
So you are taking all like a HTML, CSS, JavaScript,
Yeah.
Bootstrap, React, right? So only one session per day, right?
Yes. One session per day. And we will go with that sequence only. And it will
Thank
take
you.
around 3 to 4 months to complete this entire course.
Perfect.
And finally, we will be developing one live project as well.
Okay. So
So
likewise, like a develop end of that 4 months, but we can develop like a simultaneously, like we are learning like HTML, and then we will develop like a some websites like you are just showed how we can create that. Uh,
exactly. These
mm,
are the small things, right? Small web pages.
yes.
Apart from this, we will develop one live project, complete project using all the technologies.
Great, great, great.
Okay.
Yes.
Yeah,
Mm,
while going through the course, obviously we will develop like this small things, multiple.
mm,
But
mm.
at the end, we will develop one entire project so that you guys will understand how these technologies are used to develop one project.
So you are using Visual Studio Code?
Yes, I'm using Visual Studio Code.
Oh, okay, okay, okay.
So this is our third session. In case if you want to just watch first and second session, you will
Mhm.
find in the YouTube. Okay.
Okay, thanks.
So you can just go through this Ashok IT YouTube
Mhm.
channel. You can search for Ashok IT here.
Mhm.
Okay, just open this channel. And here you will have something called live. Okay, live tab. Just click on this live. And here you will find the videos. Okay. This is the
Sure.
session 2. This is the session 1.
Yeah.
And today is the session 3.
Thanks, Kabir. Thank you.
That's all, guys. If you don't have any doubts, yeah, you can drop. Let's join on Monday now. Okay. Tomorrow we don't have any session. Next session will be on Monday.
Thank you so much, Kabir. Thank you. Have a great weekend, huh?
Yeah, same to you.
Bye.